And what's up there, YouTube? Stampede Valkyrie coming back at you again. This is an interesting little light. Probably been sitting on another light that I've been sitting on for a long time. Needed a little bit of TLC in order to bring back to life. For the most of you already know what this is, a mini vector bar. Vector bars are there were two versions of the vector bar. You had the vector and the vision bar. Vector bars were actually what I like to call the dumb bars, which basically meant that they were not smart. There was no control box that you could have the different rotators do different things. All three of these guys spin, you just turn it on, it's just like a regular beacon. This is also a light that gathers a lot of love and or hate. The full-size bars, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of them. I'm the first person. I'm not going to say that I hate them, but I just don't like the full-size bars. Now, one of the reasons why I don't like the full-size bars is because they're really unruly, especially when you get to the larger size ones that may have like 8 pods on them. That's ridiculous. These things get really out of control. And even for a mini bar, this one's pretty big. I mean, to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, this one is just regular. It's got a slow speed center rotator and 2 fast outers, and I'll power this up here in a moment. But as I'm giving you the 360 as we come along here, these domes, while they may not look it, are used. The domes actually were okay. There are some visual defects in the one red dome, but for the most part I think they polished up very, very well. Actually, this came out a lot better than I thought, considering I didn't put a lot of effort into it. Coming down here, very faded tag. That's basically a Model VC Series A volts 12, and I'll see if I can zoom back in. You can kind of see the VC there, but that's a very faded tag. So this is not a new bar. This is actually a used bar. The history on this that I'm aware of, it came from a contact, well, I'd say a friend of mine in Lakewood, New Jersey. He's an outfitter, and I believe this was used in the Lakewood, New Jersey area. So this bar actually resided or was used in New Jersey. Typical red white. Does have magnetic mounts, as you can see the magnetic feet there on the bottom. I've kind of a little bit precariously perched, but the magnets are kind of holding it in place, which is pretty good. So let's go ahead and power it up, and we'll get a view of what's going on. And there we go. So again, fast center, 2 slower, or not fast, slow center, 2 fast outers. Sorry about that. One of the really neat things about this light, and what I think these lights actually were really cool on, is I like the lights that had a center pod be a TCL, or basically traffic clearing light, and then 2 fast rotators on the outside. I always thought that was kind of neat. One of the things that this light excels at is what we call if you want to call it the 45-degree angle warning, is what we're doing right here. This light actually excelled, and one of the reasons why the Vector and Visions were so popular is due to the off-angle warning. Pretty much you got a flash regardless, and as we walk around, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, now if we come to the back end of the bar, you're still catching 2 domes or 2 rotators instead of all 3. But you get where I'm going with this. Long story short, I do like this little light. It's actually quite neat. Again, the reason why I decided to clean it up is I have somebody that showed some interest in this, and I'm really tossed up as to if I want to actually move with it or not. I do have some other domes for this. I have to dig them out. They're somewhere in the pile of lights somewhere, but I think for what these are, these domes came out pretty well. They give you, just so you can see what I mean by defect, if you look real close, about right here, you can see there's some scratches on that. I could fix that with some wet sanding, but considering that it's on the inboard or inner part of the dome, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me to do that. It comes down to the fact that how much effort do you put into fixing or cleaning a bar versus the reward or the payoff. So that's it in a nutshell. Again, Stampede Valkyrie, this is a mini vector, all halogen. 1 center sphere, or clear center is slow, 2 outers, reds are fast. I think this does pretty well. I like it. That's it. Stampede Valkyrie signing off.